Hi, my name is Terri Sproul and I want to welcome you to my studio. We're down here at my workspace today. I want to show you how to work with paper clay and stamps together to make a really awesome, this I made a card, and it's really a nice thin card and it's very light. Or this could go on a scrapbook page. You can make an embellishment out of it. Just think about what you can do with it. So let's get playing. First I'm going to do is there's two different types of paper clay that are very awesome out on the market. One's Creative Paperclay and the other one's Delight. Both of them work very well for this situation. Delight is probably a little lighter than paperclay when it's dry, but both of them are still extremely light and both of them could go on a card or a scrapbook page very easily. Okay, so I have a package Delight already open here, so I'm going to play with that one. So I'm going to grab a piece, and depending on the size of the stamp you're using, it's going to be the size of the piece of clay that you need. So you're going to have to kind of judge that one for yourself. I'm using a pretty big stamp here. As you can see, it's this image right here. So I want a pretty large piece of clay to play with. And you can always cut away the extra. I'm using a PVC pipe to roll out my clay. And I'm going to roll out my clay pretty thin because I'm just going to be adhering it to a front of a card, so I don't need it to be thick. So basically I just want to get it to the size that I need it to be, which that's looking pretty good. And then what I do is I take my stamps. And this beautiful stamp is from Viva Las Vegas Stamps, and you can find that at stampo.com. And you can do one of two things. You can ink up the stamp first, which I'm going to do here. I'm just going to use some Indian ink black, but you can use whatever you want. And I know you're probably tripping out why I don't have this on a block or a piece of wood or whatever. You can do this with a block stamp or even with a piece of wood stamp. But as you see, this is kind of my trick. I've inked up my stamp. Now I'm going to lay it down in my clay. And I use my rolling pin again, and I roll right over it. And that way I get a nice image. It kind of embeds itself right into that clay. But you can do this with a wood stamp or an acrylic. You just would push down on it. But that's my little trick. Then I'm just going to pull this away. And I got that great image. Isn't that awesome? Hope you guys can see how cool that is. Now at this point, I would let it dry. You can at this point actually do your trimming if you want to cut it down. I use a simple plastic knife that works great. But I also wanted to show you, this one has been drying for a while and I stamped it earlier. This one I did not use the ink, so it gives you a totally different look on the impression. But it cuts really well with just scissors. So if you did need to cut it later, it will cut for you. Then all I did is on this one, after the clay completely dried, I used this glaze from Golden to color the whole paper clay. But you can use acrylic paints, you can use memory mist sprays. Anything will pretty much work to color your paper clay, or you can even just leave it white if you like. And I just added it to a card, a little ribbon, some background paper, and it's done. It's that quick and that easy. Hope you enjoyed my card. Thanks for stopping by the Paperclay blogspot.com. Bye!